Hey everybody, today I am sharing some information with you that I found doing a little bit of research. I wanted to do a video because today is United Nations has designated August 19th as World Humanitarian Day. So I visited the United Nations website to get some information about World Humanitarian Day, so that then I could go and see what Blue Cross and Blue Shield is doing out there, because as a 501c3 nonprofit, I'm sure that their humanitarian interests are at the forefront of their priorities. So, and if you didn't catch the hashtag sarcasm there, then you might want to stop watching. I'm going to try to make this video short because I don't have enough subscribers yet on YouTube to upload more than 15 minutes. Plus, you probably don't want to watch me for more than 15 minutes. So I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. That being said, it would help me out if you could subscribe. I don't know how to edit videos, and I don't really want to learn. So there we go. Okay, so according to the United Nations, they say it takes a village. There's a saying that goes, it takes a village to raise a child. This is straight from UN.org. It takes a village to support a person who is in a humanitarian crisis. And you guys, right now, I am in a humanitarian crisis. Yesterday, the police showed up at my house while I was on a Zoom call with my psychiatrist because evidently Blue Cross Blue Shield called 911 because they said I made suicide threats. I'm not going to discuss that further. But if that's not a person that's in crisis, I don't really know who is. And I do want to briefly mention that in my own crisis, one of the things that has made things so much worse for me is that I feel like I'm screaming, shouting from the rooftops, begging for help. I'm doing all those things that people later say, well, we missed their cries for help, or we didn't know that they were dealing with this, or whatever. They say all of these things. And in my case, I screamed for help. I literally screamed for help to family members, to my so-called friends, to everyone that has ears, to random people on social media in ways that make me extremely uncomfortable and vulnerable. I screamed for help. I screamed to Blue Cross Blue Shield for help, to the Texas Department of Insurance, to the Federal Health and Human Services Complaints Department. And to date, it is August 19th. This is day 16. I still do not have access to medical care, my prescription medication, unless I pay out of pocket, because Blue Cross Blue Shield is continuing to work on their adjustment errors. So, United Nations says it takes a village to support a person in crisis. That is probably true. I don't feel like I even have 5 people. So I don't know what constitutes a village, but I don't feel like I have one. And if you're watching this and you want to say, hey, listen, I'm here for you, I'm part of your village, then please say that, because I need to hear that right now. And it's okay. It's okay to say that. It's okay to take the time out of your day. I'm not engaging in attention-seeking behavior. This is a real honest-to-God crisis that could end in me being a statistic that speaks to a lot of problems in our country if Blue Cross Blue Shield does not fix this problem soon and get me the access that I need to the medications that I need. So there's that. Back to the UN. It says, whenever and wherever people are in need, there are others who help them. They are the affected people themselves, always to respond when disaster strikes. Far from the spotlight and out of the headlines, they come together to ease suffering and hope. That's a major goal of mine with this channel, is not just to get Blue Cross Blue Shield to listen to me and to pay out my claims and allow me access to medical care, but to be a voice for all of the people out there who just don't have the emotional and mental stamina and energy to fight this fight. And so even when I get my medications and even when I'm able to go back to my doctors without having to pay exorbitant fees that I've already paid and met my out-of-pocket maximum per my policy rules for, I'll still be advocating for every single person out there that cannot get affordable, accessible healthcare in the United States. I'm still going to be your voice, because that is why I formed my consulting group last year. And if you haven't heard of my consulting group, it's Allegedly Consulting LLC. It's an LLC formed in Texas, and it's all about advocacy. Advocacy across the board in all different areas, and that's another topic for another day, but that is the core mission. What the UN says right here about the affected people are the first ones to come to the rescue. That's me. I'm the affected people, but I'm also the first one to come to the rescue. I talk to grieving people every single day. I talk to people who have a missing loved one every single day, and I help them by working on the podcast. And I absolutely love my job. It is so enriching, and I'm so fortunate that I'm able to do it. But I'm also an affected person. And so enabled for me to continue my work, helping others and coming to the rescue, the first to respond when disaster strikes, as the UN has described World Humanitarian Day. I need to be able to be here and be healthy and be present. If I'm dead by my own hand, I can't help others. So if you're watching this, please share it. Please tell someone about it. Please say, hey, this girl is in crisis and she needs help and she helps others, and we need to help her right now. Because if she isn't able to help others, that's one less person out there that's helping others. And more people, like special shout outs to Kayla and Danielle and George over at Blue Cross Blue Shield, who aren't doing a damn thing. Not to help anybody else, just sitting around collecting a paycheck from a nonprofit organization. And I had this whole other thing pulled up, and I'm going to save it because I'm going to cut this off. But I wanted to read something about a health provider, so like a hospital system. So the CEO of this hospital system said, and this was about Blue Cross Blue Shield, he said this in an email to his employees, that Blue Cross Blue Shield is the most unethical bullying foe I have ever faced. When leaders from across the state and beyond called to warn me about what Blue Cross Blue Shield would do, I listened carefully, but I was skeptical. And he's talking about ongoing contract negotiations between the hospital system that he oversees and keeping Blue Cross Blue Shield as an in-network provider, or Blue Cross Blue Shield keeping the hospital system as an in-network provider. I'm not in this business. But he said that I didn't think it was possible from a multi-billion-dollar company to lie to their clients, but it is, and it was. And the Dallas Morning News has also talked about Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas and how they had to issue huge refunds. I actually got one of these refunds a few years ago, and this is what the Dallas Morning News says. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas is agreeing to pay a $10 million fine and issue refunds to consumers after a state review found billing mistakes in the insurer's handling of out-of-network emergency claims. The Texas Department of Insurance announced the fine and restitution agreement. Consumers who had higher out-of-pocket costs due to the errors. We keep hearing about errors. What is it with errors? It's interesting, and this is the final point I'm going to make. I'm going to abandon all this, and I'll come back to it later, but I don't want to cross the 10-minute threshold. It's very interesting to me that Blue Cross Blue Shield is located in Richardson, Texas, right where the University of Texas at Dallas is, and that's a great computer science and engineering university. And right there in that industrial tech hub part of North Dallas and Richardson is Texas Instruments, who makes some of the best calculators in the world. If you work for Blue Cross Blue Shield and you're watching this, hit me up. I will provide you with some Texas Instrument calculators because y'all need them. Happy World Humanitarian Day.